everybody wants to face each other. So is that where we're at right now with Canelo?
No. Crawford needs the money.
Crawford needs the money?
Yeah, he needs the money.
So how can you convince fans that he can beat Canelo?
I ain't trying to convince y'all that he can beat Canelo. He's a good fighter.
You know, I'm gonna make all those doubters at the end of the day, at the end of the fight, they all gonna cry when they get home. You know, and I meant that.
Gervonta Davis believes that if Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford ever face off, Canelo would dominate the matchup. He argues that Crawford, despite his impressive record, has shown vulnerability in the past, even pointing to the time Yuri Ortiz Gamboa managed to shake him during their bout. In Davis's view, this highlights why Canelo's superior strength and size would prove overwhelming. He sees a clear gap between the two fighters and suggests that Crawford's past flaws could be exposed again when facing a more powerful adversary.
So how can you convince fans that he can beat Canelo?
I ain't trying to convince y'all that he can beat Canelo. He's a good fighter. But, bro, I would say smaller fighters are always better than bigger fighters because they're smaller, they know how to move and things like that. But this guy is great at what he do. And another thing, bro.
Terence Crawford has made a name for himself by consistently silencing skeptics. As a former undisputed champion in both the lightweight and welterweight divisions, he's now aiming for an ambitious leap, taking on Canelo Alvarez at super middleweight. While questions about the size and power difference persist, Crawford remains confident that his technical abilities will stand out. In a bold remark, he promised that those doubting him will leave the arena in tears after the fight, showcasing both his self-belief and determination as he prepares for one of the sport's most audacious challenges.
You know, I'm gonna make all those doubters at the end of the day, at the end of the fight, they all gonna cry when they get home. You know, and I meant that. You know, everybody's talking about the size and, you know, me being a smaller fighter, but if you look on the stage, I've been sparring these big dudes my whole career. Like, how I'm gonna take a punch? They punch me every time we spar. So, you know, it's okay. You know, once we get in the ring and they see something different, like each and every time, there's gonna be another excuse why, the reason why Terence won and this and that and that is, but I can assure you, I'm gonna be victorious, and after that, we're gonna have another parade.
Gervonta Davis, a standout talent in the lightweight division, hasn't held back when sharing his thoughts on a potential showdown between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford. Renowned for his knockout prowess, Davis has consistently backed Canelo to come out on top. He cites Alvarez's physical advantages, championship experience, and comfort at higher weight classes as key factors. Davis also emphasizes that Crawford has yet to compete at super middleweight, making the jump a major risk. In his view, Canelo's success across multiple weight divisions gives him a clear edge, even against a technician like Crawford.
Gap between Canelo and Terence Crawford, Tank is going to pick Canelo to knock Crawford out. We all know Tank had his little run-ins with Bud and things of that nature, to where Bud say he will fight Tank at 147, which is crazy to me, right? Tank ain't going to no damn 147. But nonetheless, Gervonta Tank Davis go ride with Canelo. And, you know, he a smart man. No, he a smart man. Because I think everybody and their mama see that, you know, Canelo Alvarez is too big for Terence Crawford, just like Terence Crawford knew it. But Gervonta Tank Davis always picked Canelo over everybody. Doesn't matter who it is.
In terms of experience and resume, few in today's boxing landscape can rival Canelo Alvarez. Having faced legends like Floyd Mayweather early on, Alvarez has made a career out of challenging himself against physically bigger and stronger opponents. His supporters often point out that, while Terence Crawford is undoubtedly one of the most skilled fighters pound for pound, he hasn't yet been tested against opponents in higher weight classes to the same extent. Canelo's track record of defying size disadvantages adds to the confidence behind him as he gears up for yet another high-stakes showdown.
I don't see Crawford knocking Canelo out. If Canelo lets Crawford get away with boxing, he may have a shot. If Canelo comes in there and boxes and cuts the ring, Canelo has a chance of knocking Crawford out.
What?
Yeah.
You said Canelo got a shot at knocking Crawford out?
I think he does.
Wow.
Remember, Crawford coming up for 135. And I don't know if y'all remember when you fought Gamboa. Gamboa rocked him a little bit too. And we talk about Canelo Alvarez.
That was a long time ago. If we gonna do that, Canelo got rocked by Jose Miguel Cotto.
I didn't know that. But on the real, Canelo has faced a bigger opposition. He's faced a bigger and a harder punchers. Who has Crawford faced that's a big puncher? Canelo's taking more hard punches than Crawford. The tail of the tape is going to be if Crawford can take the power from Canelo, and can Canelo box with Crawford and potentially hurt him and finish the fight.
Boxing experts are cautioning fans against drawing direct comparisons from past matchups when assessing this potential fight. Canelo Alvarez is a completely different fighter than Errol Spence Jr., just as Terence Crawford is not Floyd Mayweather. Canelo offers a distinct blend of explosive power, slick upper body movement, and exceptional durability. On the other hand, Crawford's versatility and ability to switch stances mid-fight set him apart from anyone in the sport today. Analysts stress that this bout should be seen as a unique meeting of elite talents, each with their own style, making it a truly original and unpredictable showdown.
Terence Crawford is a dog, that's a fact. Heart of a lion, that's a fact. Great boxer, great skills, high IQ, future Hall of Famer, that is a fact, ladies and gentlemen. You know what else is a fact, ladies and gentlemen? Terence Crawford cannot afford to get hit with these same shots by Saul Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez is not the mean machine. Canelo Alvarez is not Sean Porter. Canelo Alvarez is not Gamboa, and he's for damn sure not Errol Spence Jr. Just like Terence Crawford is not Floyd Mayweather or Lara. We trying to say that Bud's gonna do the same thing that Mayweather was able to do. Two different styles, two different type of fighters. Mayweather is a pure boxer. Terence Crawford is not a pure boxer. That does not mean that he can't box. Before y'all try to kill me in the comment section. Yes, he has the ability to box, but Terence Crawford is a boxer puncher, ladies and gentlemen. He gives angles, but he doesn't move like a Floyd Mayweather or a Lara. He's not on his toes like that. And he also likes to exchange when he gets hurt, and that can be to his detriment. And if he exchanged with Canelo a little too long, it might be NyQuil time. But y'all let me know how y'all feel about this in the comment section.
While Terence Crawford certainly has the skills to box, it's important to recognize that he's more of a boxer puncher than a pure mover. He uses angles effectively but doesn't rely on constant footwork or lateral movement like Floyd Mayweather or Erislandy Lara. Additionally, Crawford has shown a willingness to engage in exchanges when hurt, an instinct that could prove risky against a power puncher like Canelo Alvarez. If he chooses to trade shots for too long, it could lead to serious trouble. Looking at the matchup overall, Canelo enters with clear advantages in both experience and natural size. Competing at 168 pounds is routine for him, while it represents uncharted territory for Crawford. Canelo also brings a resume filled with Hall of Fame caliber opponents. Still, Crawford is widely regarded as one of the most technically gifted fighters in the sport today. His precision, timing, counterpunching skills, and seamless switch hitting make him a difficult challenge for any opponent. This clash ultimately comes down to a battle between size and experience versus skill and adaptability.
Boxing odd makers have Canelo vs. Crawford Gillette close. Now obviously Canelo has the size advantage. He's 3 weight divisions heavier than Crawford. And most people believe that Crawford carries the skill advantage, being an overall more skilled fighter. Neither guy is known for tremendous defense, but it's still solid. And of course, they're both chiseled into the Mount Rushmore of pugilism for their ironclad wills. The one area that people say Canelo might have the advantage is in experience fighting heavier dudes. Now, obviously, all fighters spar out of their weight classes, but when it comes to actually fighting in the pro ranks with those 10-ounce gloves, Canelo's the only one between the two of them that has a multitude of experience fighting super middleweights and light heavyweights in the pro ranks. So does this slight advantage give Canelo the nod and make him a bit of a favorite? Or is Crawford going to prove that size doesn't matter and it's skills that pay the bills? What do you guys think? Tell me in the comments.
Veteran trainer Abel Sanchez has voiced serious concerns about Terence Crawford's decision to step up and face Canelo Alvarez. Sanchez pointed out that Crawford has never operated at this level in terms of natural weight and size, making the move a significant and potentially risky jump. He warned that even highly skilled fighters can find themselves at a disadvantage when moving up too quickly in weight, where physicality can often override technique. Illustrate his point, Sanchez referenced Dimitri Bivol's victory over Canelo. Despite being a naturally larger light heavyweight with stylistic strengths, Bivol still had to deliver a near-perfect performance to secure the win. The implication is clear: if someone with Bivol's size and attributes had to go to the limit to beat Alvarez, then Crawford, moving up from welterweight, faces an even steeper climb. Sanchez's comments highlight just how massive a challenge Crawford is undertaking in this potential clash.
He's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. I just think that moving up in weight without having fights to merit that, I think it's the wrong move. But he couldn't handle a 154-pounder the way that he was handling everybody else before. And Madrimov is not Canelo. Canelo's been used to fighting all the bigger guys and has done very well with the bigger guys. Nobody's hurt him. I mean, he's fought the biggest punch. He fought Gennady. Come on, he fought Gennady twice, really the good fights. And then Bivol hit him with everything and couldn't hurt him. So how's Terence gonna do that? I don't think he can. I see Canelo going away maybe in a 16-12, 17-13 kind of fight. The first 3 or 4 rounds will be difficult for Canelo, or a little harder for Canelo because of the speed. But once he assimilates, just like when Golovkin fought Kell Brook, the first 3 or 4 rounds where Kell was fast. But Terence is going to expose himself when he throws his punches, and Canelo's going to finally get this timing down, and I think we'll be able to control the fight.
Do you see a version of Canelo now that is slowing down? Obviously, a lot of people might point towards the William Skull fight, but again, despite how that one played out, people talk about his lack of motivation maybe for a fight like that. But do you see this version of Canelo declining?
No, I think the lack of motivation because of the opponent could have been the reason for that fight. I think these guys at that level, once they get a name, they're looking at a name. It's a different story. They're not only their motivation, but they're waking up earlier in the morning to go run. All those things come into play because they know they have a challenge ahead of them.
One thing with the weight, and again, Buddy spoke to me about this, is he said that if he was Terence, he'd come in just over the 160 limit, so he's just inside the 168 limit to try and keep a bit more of that speed instead of just like bulking up. Did you agree with that sentiment, or if you was Terence, would you just bulk up?
Well, let me say this. Like everybody else, I read or I watch some of the writings on the internet, and to see that Terence is weighing 186, 190 pounds, I think that's completely the wrong way to do it.
Renowned trainer Robert Garcia, known for guiding multiple world champions, has expressed reservations about Terence Crawford's move up in weight. Garcia cautioned that gaining weight too quickly can compromise a fighter's natural strengths, especially speed and reflexes, which are central to Crawford's style. He also pushed back against comparisons to Floyd Mayweather, noting that Mayweather always operated within his optimal weight classes and fought with calculated precision. In Garcia's view, Crawford's effectiveness could be diminished at super middleweight if the added bulk impacts his quickness or endurance.
With Crawford, I think gaining too much weight and too much muscle might affect them. If they're thinking of surviving and being able to take a punch and being able to go rounds, then they're trying to maybe go the distance and they'll be happy with that. But I think Crawford's natural talent, Mayweather had it. You guys were just mentioning right now that Mayweather never needed to gain weight and never needed to be heavy to be able to beat those bigger guys. I think Crawford's skills, we give Crawford a chance because we know how good he is, how his skills, his speed, his combinations. But if he's gaining so much weight, he might not be able to do those. He might not be able to have those same skills when it comes to his speed, his footwork, because of the weight. So we'll see. I just hope he's not just training and getting big to survive and go the distance, because maybe that's a win for him. Maybe he's thinking, if I go the distance with him, that's a big win for me. So I just hope not. I expect Crawford to actually pull up some runs and maybe pull up the fight. But if he's too heavy, too big, he's gonna get hit, and he's gonna have to exchange punches, and that's where the danger comes in.
Two-time Olympic gold medalist and multi-division world champion Clarissa Shields has weighed in on the growing debate surrounding a potential Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford showdown. While acknowledging that boxing icon Shane Mosley has predicted a dominant win for Canelo, Shields respectfully disagrees. She favors Crawford, pointing to his high-level skill set and ability to adapt as key factors that could help him overcome the size disadvantage. As one of the most decorated female boxers in history, Shields' opinion carries significant influence, particularly given her long-standing respect for Crawford's technical precision and mental resilience.
With like all due respect to Shane Mosley,
Sure.
he just said that Terence Crawford was going to get watched by Canelo. I don't think his word is really worth that much.
Do you think she need a year?
No, she needs till January, February. That's the timeline. She needs 6 to 8 months. She said out of her own mouth that she's in shape. She can come back. She told me that I'm too small for her. I'm not skilled enough for her. She punched too hard. And if she comes to get me, I won't be able to keep her off me. So stand on that, take this $15 million, and come get your ass whipped.
Trainer Rob Arosta strongly defended Terence Crawford amid skepticism about his recent physical transformation ahead of the much-anticipated bout. Some critics questioned whether Crawford's weight gain was natural, but Arosta firmly rejected these claims. He emphasized that Crawford's changes came from strict discipline, a carefully planned diet, and the intense demands of his training camp. According to Arosta, Crawford is known for his relentless work ethic and consistency, building his career on more than just natural talent. Every aspect of Crawford's preparation, from nutrition to conditioning, has been meticulously managed. Arosta urged fans and analysts to move past unfounded rumors and focus on the fight itself, underscoring that Crawford's improved physique is the result of months of hard work and sacrifice. For Arosta, the true story is Crawford's drive for greatness and his determination to take on new challenges inside the ring.
Okay. PEDs. Been hearing a lot about Terence Crawford and Victor Conte as of late.
I've seen that. Yeah, little
people are making accusations. People are insinuating that Crawford is indeed doping, and based off of his recent size, and they're not used to Terence Crawford looking this big. And give me some insight into that. Give me some insight into fighters walk around weight, PEDs, and criticism of the guy that hasn't tested positive versus the guy in the same fight that's tested positive and team has tested positive.
Right. First, I don't think Crawford's taking anything. I don't think he is. I think just the size difference in what he walks around to what he's been looking lately, that is that's just something that possibly, that's how he walks around. Now, Crawford's physique, he's the type of guy that if he becomes heavy, it shows in his face, it shows in the obliques, but he still got abs, he still got definition in his chest. You know what I mean? So he could just possibly just look like that. Now, mind you, there's still a decent amount of time. We're still talking about 4 weeks. So I'm curious to see how either wherever he is, the cut goes, or however low he goes, how it gets constructed on the way up.
Many analysts believe that the fight's outcome could hinge more on Canelo Alvarez's current form than on any changes Crawford makes. In recent years, some of Canelo's performances have lacked the intensity and sharpness he displayed at his peak. Should he regain that aggressive style, applying pressure with precise combinations and maintaining high endurance, he will be a formidable challenge. On the other hand, if he underestimates Crawford or adopts a more cautious approach, he opens the door to being outboxed. For Canelo, this bout represents not only a defense of his legacy, but also an opportunity to recapture the dominance he once had in the sport.
In regards to Canelo's media workout, so what do we see there? We see a little bit of what he wants to do to take advantage of a right-hand southpaw matchup. Get his lead foot on the outside, bang the right hand down the pipe, set it up with the jab, and maybe even fire that jab at the lead hand of Crawford to just get it touch, step outside right hand down the middle. We saw Canelo doing a lot of cross-stepping, which is, I think, a bad idea versus someone who has good angle manipulation like Crawford does, right? Every wasted movement is going to be a capitalization for Crawford to try to fire back on. And Canelo is going to be there to be hit with some counter punches. Make no mistake about it, Canelo will stand in the pocket. Yes, he'll try to make Crawford miss, but sometimes he'll even eat a couple so that he can be there behind that high guard, taking punches to look for one of the big ones on his own counter shot. So that can be a little bit of the gamesmanship too. That can be a little bit of the chess game going on, is who's going to land the bigger counterpunch, and how many of those can Crawford take moving up to 168 versus Canelo, who has been there and is fighting a guy that has fought at a lot smaller weight, that hasn't seen the power, like we talked about, the narratives being built, that Canelo brings at 168. Even now, all those things will come into play. I think a big important part of this fight is just how much Canelo utilizes his lead hand, because I'm telling you, it's going to be the most important thing in this fight. I really think if Canelo is back on his jab and is able to mask some of the stuff that he loves to do, which is that lead hook to the body, smashing hook on the arms, on the body, on the shoulders. He's able to hide it just a little bit and then hit you with that timing, that Canelo Alvarez timing that's been perfect, that put down Amir Khan, that put down Billy Joe Saunders, that found the button on Kovalev.
Rapper and boxing analyst Okino shared a straightforward but vital insight. The fight could ultimately come down to whether Terence Crawford can handle Canelo Alvarez's power. While Crawford has demonstrated toughness and resilience in his previous weight classes, Canelo's punching force at 168 pounds is on an entirely different level. If Crawford can endure those heavy shots without faltering, the bout could turn into a strategic battle of skill and wit. However, if he struggles to absorb the impact, Canelo's raw strength could bring a swift conclusion. Okino summed up what many fans are wondering: the outcome hinges on this single crucial factor.
All right, let me ask you, you're a boxing fan, right?
Yeah, bad.
Canelo versus Terence Crawford. Like right now, according to betonline.ag, Canelo's favored -180, Crawford is 139. That means that if you bet on Canelo, you'd have to bet $180 to make $100.
That's not that bad.
It's almost 2-to-1 odds.
Yeah, but
almost.
Canelo stuff used to be way crazier than that.
Terence Crawford is no joke, though.
You know, I mean, I would bet Terence Crawford on the fight.
So you would bet on Terence Crawford?
Yeah.
Why?
He never lost. Mayweather beat Canelo real easy. And I don't think Terence Crawford...
Mayweather beat Canelo way early on. Way early on.
But
plus it's Mayweather.
Listen, Law is Mayweather, his cheat code. But I think if anybody can beat Canelo, it's Terence Crawford. I mean, I'm not betting against somebody that never lost. You know what I mean? Now, if Terence Crawford take his punches, that's what we got to see.
Yeah, September 13th in Las Vegas.
That's going to be the biggest fight ever, probably.
It'll be on Netflix.
I think it's going to be the biggest fight ever.
Yeah, Canelo's getting $150 million. Crawford's getting $50 million. Huge paydays for everyone involved.
Plus, they're going to get probably back-end money, too.
Yeah.
But how does that work? Because it's not pay-per-view. Do they still...
Netflix putting up the money.
So I'm saying, so they don't get no back-end then?
No, there is no back-end. There's ticket sales.
Yeah, because pay-per-view, the back-end is the most.
There's no pay-per-view.
I guess if you give me $50 million up front, I don't really care about the back-end. You give me
but Netflix doesn't do back-ends, period. Like, even
so
on
he
movie
getting
deals.
3 times more than Terence Crawford? God damn. That's crazy, bro. I would at least think it'd be 2 times.
Would you turn down $50 million?
Not even 5.
So,
I know
today you could be pocket watching the other boxer, but at the end of the day, you're still getting $50 million.
Yeah, $50 million.
Biggest payday he's ever gotten in his life, even after taxes and whatever.
Like, I just think he was enough of a draw that he can get at least half of what he was getting. Well, of course, $50 million.
Well, Canelo has the whole like Latin community, and you gotta think that's a huge thing.
But yeah, remember Terence Crawford's last fight's been sold out just like Canelo's.
No, I mean, they all sell out. Terence is a beast. I just feel like Canelo's kind of a bigger figure.
He a bigger figure, but I didn't think he was that 3 times bigger. This fight's gonna be insane.
Hey man, it's all about negotiation.
You know what it was? Because you know why? Probably he getting so much less because Canelo ain't had to take it. Canelo's scared of Benavidez though, period. And I don't think he can beat Benavidez at all. I would bet on Benavidez.
Yeah,
for sure.
That wraps up today's discussion. Thanks for watching, and be sure to stay tuned for more updates. Until next time.